I'm going to show you the other method of opening this guy up. It's really nice and dry. A couple things about chicken. Any animal is going to have seams for you. Seams which you can follow to clean. If you're trying to take the legs off, what do I do first before I touch this thing with a knife? Break it. Dislocate, right? Dislocate the hips. So I'm just reaching under. I should lie flat like that. And where do I make the cut?
Straight down the middle.
Let's say I'm going to take the legs off first.
Straight towards the breast.
So you see right here, you see that nice band of fat on both sides? There and there? The animal's telling you that's where it should be cut. So we're going to make it a very shallow incision on that band of fat. Why are we cutting it that low? You want to have nice coverage on the breast and the skin, right? And if we cut too high, as that shrinks, you know skin shrinks when it cooks, right? So if we cut this way up here, as it shrinks, you're going to have some breast meat that's uncovered, which is not good. Really, the breast meat is doing what? If we had to assign a technique or a function or a technique to the skin on the breast meat, what's it doing?
Barding.
It's barding. You guys saw the words bard and lard before, right? Barding is the fat on the outside. Lard is inserting fat with a needle in the inside. Skin is a natural barding agent because it's got a lot of fat. Chickens, most of the fat you're going to find in the chicken will be under the skin, and then in this big giant chunk that's down in the cavity down here. What do we do with this stuff?
Save it.
Save it and do what with it? Make sculptures?
Render it.
Render. Yeah. Render. So we can chop it up, put it in a pan with a little bit of water, and simmer it, and it'll melt. And then you have clarified chicken fat, which is very, very nice for chicken fabrication or for chicken cookery. So we're going to do that on both sides. Gentle. And even stuff like this, when you have this piece of skin that's on the bottom, that's got a lot of fat too, that can be rendered. What I'm going to do for this, we're trying to get the oysters, right? The oysters are here and here, so what I'm going to do is the oyster is here, I'm cutting high on that, and then I'm going to come in here with my thumb and pull that oyster away. See that oyster is right there? All I do is put my thumb and slide it right down along that. That comes away. The last thing I'm going to do is pressing against the chicken. I'm going to be coming down the back side of it, and I'm basically pulling the leg away. And what you end up with is almost no meat left on the back at all. Super, super clean. We're going to come back to this in a minute. Now, if you want to do, you guys have probably seen this too, but if you want to make this bone nice and clean, what you want to do is, that's where the joint is, right? Make the incision through the skin, cut to the bone, not the joint. So what I'm going to do is cut all the way up here, take the back side of the knife, clean it up a little bit, and that pops right out and you leave the cartilage behind. Incidentally, if you wanted to make a truly boneless wing, what you do is you take this cartilage piece off the end. How? You know this thing normally goes like this, right? You're going to snap it backwards against itself so the bones got exposed. And all we're going to do is, since we've cut the bottom of it off already, grab the bone, you got a truly boneless wing that you can stuff. Just another trick. Now, check it out. If we're going to take this thing out from the inside, the way we do it is this. You stand it up on its shoulders with the backbone towards us. We're going to make an incision. I'm going to draw a guideline so you can see how it's going to look. Basically, the incision is going to look like that. And if I were you, I'd draw guidelines. First thing I'm going to do is sever through all this junk to get it out of my way. And then all I'm going to do is take the knife, starting right here, and make an incision all the way down. Same thing on the other side. And then what we can do is just pull that backbone right out. What's holding on to it is a piece of the wishbone. Backbone comes out. If you're going to use this for stock, you want to get in here and get these pieces of kidney out of there, because they will cloud your stock. But what you would do is chop this up. You got some nice stock material. Now, you see this little, that's the keel bone, right? Right there. Rib cage, keel bone. You see this nice shiny piece of cartilage right here? Right here? All I'm going to do is make a shallow incision. You especially, you're heavy-handed with that. Easy on that, right? Shallow incision, grab it, that pops right out. All I did was went like that. You notice I kept the bottom part of my hands together, and all we're going to do is just pull this thing out. And usually what I'll do is run my finger down on either side of the heel bone there. Sometimes that breaks off, it's not a big deal. Last thing, we're trying to leave this bone in, right? So what we're going to do is come in on the underside. Remember, if you've got bones that have been cut, you've got exposed bone marrow. You don't want to cut, you don't want to get it into your finger or your hands because it will make you infected if you do. So try to keep those really sharp pieces of bone away from your fingers and your hands. You're going to get in under here. We're basically just going to remove the rib cage area. And that other bone, the other wing bone is right here. That's the tender. You want to try to avoid cutting that off, so we're just going to make a nice incision. Remember, you see that shiny piece? You're looking for shiny pieces. When you're trying to take something apart, the shiny pieces are the tendons that hold it together. When you make incisions through those tendons, the pieces of the animal come apart very easily. Now you've got a little piece of cartilage you can harvest here. Very nice, semi-boneless skin-on breast. And so if you're struggle coming from the top, you can go on the inside and try it that way. And I didn't lose anything. Sometimes you lose it on the wishbone if you're coming from the other side. Now, other thing is this wing. This is another thing Chef asked me to show you. One of the things I see students struggle with the most is getting the leg bone out. So, one way we've shown you is to make an incision and pull it out, right? Maybe you haven't seen it, maybe you have. What I'm going to show you is this. Take this guy, nice cut around the collar. Make sure that we've severed all the connective tissue. So I actually will push it down like that to make sure that that's been severed. If you're right-handed, left hand on the thigh, right hand on this. There you go. It's way, way, way easier than digging around in there with a knife. And what you do still have in there, I'll do it again so you can see it. What's still in here is the kneecap, right? So you're going to have to go back and get the kneecap. But again, all we're doing is going around. Okay, next. What I'll do is just take my knife and just scrape the bone, so you can now see that thigh bone. Take my finger under the thigh bone. Then you put your knife in. The knife does not go in and then the finger, it's the other way around. Or else the knife goes into the finger and that's not so good. So we're going to come up like this. Back of the knife to scrape the bone. See how that end's coming very visible there? All we need to do is just go right into that little area. And then lastly, since that's right side out, we're going to take it inside out. And I'm going to squeeze just like this. And you see how that big piece of cartilage comes up? If you have little hands, this might be kind of tricky for you. That's okay.
I know.
You see this big shiny piece right here? You guys will see that?
Yes.
Yes. Attack that first. So what I'm going to do is make an incision. See how it just came right up for me? Incision. And even that little tiny annoying bone that's always stuck in there came out with it. Because it's attached to the kneecap. Now what you do is just go back, just turn the right side out again. And you've got a stuffable, boneless leg. Super easy to use. Stuffable and boneless. So again. And if there's a little bit of meat on here, you can kind of get that off. It's fine. Sometimes the oyster falls off a little bit. Okay? So, that trick, those two tricks alone will save you hundreds of hours of your career breaking chickens down. Because you'll spend all sorts of time trying to get those, snake the bones out of there. That makes it way easier to do. Alright, so what do we need? We need one of these for the poêlée, right? We need one